Ready to rock and roll? Good morning and welcome to On the Line in 60 frames per second. I am your host, Eric Walker. Good to see everybody again. It's been a little while, and here we are. Right off the get-go, haven't done this in a while, so we got a good mic, we got good sound. Glad to see everybody here. Thank you. All right, so I guess we have a quorum here. Got some new toys. Girlfriend got me this little guy here. Whoop, there it is. I thought that was kind of cool. Anyway, let's get this show on the road. I have a special guest with us today, a new player, Thorlock, and let's get that intro in. All right. Good morning, Mr. Thorlock. How are you today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on today, Eric.
Hey, really glad to have you. Wanted to talk all things MegaWorld. I know you're a new player. You've really got off to a real bang of a start. Let's check your audio, make sure everything's good over there as well, since, like I said, Max, do we got Thorlock on the horn too?
Sure. Hopefully you can hear me and I'm coming across okay.
All right.
Let me know if I need to adjust anything.
Yeah, that's always annoying when you're sitting there talking for like 2 minutes and then everybody's like, I can't hear you. So, yeah, let's get this thing started. Like I said, right off the get-go, how'd you learn about MegaWorld? How did you get started? What kind of brought you over here?
Well, I met a couple of the top players over on the Hive blockchain playing another game, and I originally heard about it and didn't think twice to check it out. And then the second time I heard about it, I was like, well, maybe I should look at this game and see what these guys are talking about. So I jumped on and saw right away the complexity of it, and the graphics for the game were above most that I've seen in Web3. It's a fully functional game already. A lot of these other games on Web3 are they're glorified staking games. They're not full games yet, or they're trying to sell you tokens to raise money to create a game. This game's already live. This game, it plays like a Sim City to me. There's a lot of nuances, but I mean, it wasn't too hard to get into the game, but to learn everything about the game, I'm about 2 weeks in. I've learned a lot of things just because I got some help, but there's still a lot I don't know about the game.
No, absolutely. I mean, you summed it up really good. It is a very much a SimCity type game. A lot going on, a lot of complexities, a lot of things to learn. I'm hoping to put out some video tutorials here pretty soon. Gonna have a website that kind of catalogs all of that stuff. Coming into the game, what was your experience basically coming from the outside world to coming into the game, as far as onboarding and setting up your MetaMask? What was the hardest part? What could you have not figured out without somebody kind of guiding you through?
To get into the game, I didn't have a problem, but I already had BSC on MetaMask anyway, so I could just log right into the game.
Mm-hmm.
But for someone who doesn't have the Binance Smart Chain to your MetaMask, which there are tutorials out there, it's really not hard to do.
Okay.
I think one of the harder things initially, similar to that, I guess would be obtaining the in-game coin Mega. I was trying to find out, like, where do I buy this Mega coin that I actually need in game for claims and for other things. And then after digging around, I found the token contracts, the smart contracts, I guess, for the Ethereum and BSC side. So I've used both Pancake Swap and Uniswap to obtain Mega as well as some over-the-counter deals.
Oh, absolutely. So, there's absolutely a lot of liquidity over there. We've chatted about this in separate forums, but on Uniswap, there's lots of liquidity, both ETH and Mega. Over on PancakeSwap, I would say liquidity is a little bit on the lighter side for larger than 4 to 5K purchases. And I won't get too much into how to stake liquidity, but if you ever have any questions about it, how to stake inside of Uni or Pancake, hit me up, and we'll also have tutorials on that. Really, what I wanted to do was kind of, I guess, I mean, get back into the intro of the different building types. Maybe you learn something along the way. Kind of walk through some of our third-party apps, and just kind of go through that learning process, and show people what the game is all about. Um, Shoot, let me switch cameras here. Sorry, guys. Uh, so really just want to kind of go through each of the building types, and like I said, talk about Mega. One thing I did forget to mention right off the get-go, we are having a giveaway today. If you've got a BNB address, go ahead and throw that thing in into chat. First time chatters are going to get a little bit bigger Mega bonus. And again, Mega's the coin that kind of powers this whole game. So we're giving away up to 500 Mega today. And Max should throw up some of the criteria there. And we'll kind of go from there. Let's see. All right, all right, sweet. Really, the first thing I wanted to start out with is the way I start every game, or every new player, is how I coach them, is starting with industrial. I'm a very vertical integrated strategy. You know what? Let me ask you, Thor. What's your thoughts on what's your overall strategy in the game? I'm curious to see how you were coached along, because I have a certain way of coaching, and different players look at the game differently. What's kind of your strategy overall?
For me, it's a game of efficiency. So it took, I mean, it is a little overwhelming at first. I use um, there. You'll probably show it at some point. It's the flow chart. That's like my Bible to the game because it shows if you're building an energy building, well, you can have a certain amount of other buildings around it. But if you have too many, you start getting negative effects to your IP, which is your influence points. So that to me is one of the very first things that you need to learn. I tried to get a grasp on the game and the IP before I started purchasing any plots and building any buildings. I One of the first things I was told is you any mistakes in the game can be very costly, and that's true. The cheapest plots are 0.09 B&B, which that's a little over $25, I think, and then you need materials to build on top of that. So I was basically told to look for ideal locations where you can and plan for the future so you can build out a large building. In order to build the highest level building is a level 7. It's called a mega. You need four blocks of land essentially. So my initial purchases were to look for areas where I would be able to eventually build out megas. Not that I needed to start with that because it takes a while to do so, but I wanted to go ahead and acquire the land. That way, once I start building up, if I do want to go all the way to level 7, I'm able to do so. I'm not restricted in any way.
No, you're absolutely right. I'm trying to troubleshoot my. Let me see here. Give me a sec. Trying to see why this thing isn't punching up here. I wanted to show off some level sevens. Really, the way that I've always started the game is with industrials. I'm kind of a vertical integrated strategy, meaning I want to self-produce all of my materials. So the basically the level one, the very start is with that industrial. Those are the easiest, cheapest materials. Here we go. All right, we got my game up and running. Let's switch over like this. All right. So really, I start with an industrial building again. So I can show you guys some level ones, and really, I wanted to go over the profitability calculator. I think that's the most. I kind of showed you that offline there, Thor. I'm going to showcase it here. Um, so a level one building would look like this. Again, builds metal and wood. What this does is this is the the building blocks of what you need to create other buildings, right? So if we go over here to Max's tables, we can quickly see some of the requirements that are required. So if we want to build a power plant, level one, we can see what their yields are. I don't think we have building requirements on here. Maybe we do. Um, doesn't look like we do. All right. So I guess quickly jumping over, let's look at that level 7 building. So again, a level 7 building is 4 level 1s put together. Here's the output. It is producing 376 metal every single day. So we're going to go over to my little chart here. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit. I'll zoom in a little bit more so everybody can see. All right, there we go. So how much metal did I just get done saying? I just lost my train of thought. 354 was it? I'll check again. 376 metal. All right. So looking at that, shift the chart over to metal, production amount, 376. Production cost, let's go look. So every time I want to produce, it's going to cost Mega to collect. Let's see what details. It's going to cost me 4.95 Mega. So 4.95 Mega. So basically, I can create at the cost of 4.95 mega at 6.7 cents is 33 cents. So it's going to cost me 33 cents to collect. And at the floor market price, I can sell that product for $11.18. So a really hefty margin. You are correct. When we were kind of chatting privately, there are nested materials inside of there. And that kind of goes back into that vertical integration strategy. Where I self-produce all of those materials, so they're essentially negligible to me. That cost in USD, I would probably add another maybe 10% to this cost, and this is what potentially you could sell it on the market for. Um, yeah, absolutely. That's a great idea. Give me a sec. So for those new, everything is kind of encompassing into the game. And inside of the game, we have our own marketplace. So right here, I can show the different materials. So let's go over there to metal. And you'll see the lowest price metal is 0.114 BMB per thousand. And all of that is calculated into that calculator. It's so kind of neat. Have you learned much about the newspaper yet? Have you seen some of the metrics that I mean this game is full of metrics. That's really what this game is all about. Have you seen much of that? Have you played with that
Yeah,
much?
I've looked at it. I think it's pretty interesting that you get a daily report on everything that's going on from production of each material to usage of each material with charts and prices. I mean, it's a real economy. It's it's very interesting. The one thing to point out on the marketplace, so you can wrap up your materials that you produce to buy and sell with no gas fees on the market. The gas fees are all paid for by MegaWorld. They use layer two transactions on Polygon for these microtransactions.
No, you're absolutely right. I'm actually going to go through a collection right now and kind of show people some of the mechanics and how that works. I've got it looks like I've got a few things to collect here, a couple things down in the bottom, so I'll walk through that real quick. So, all right. Every building is built on a time cycle, right? So a level 1 will take 7 days, while a level 7 will take 1 day, and every building in between that just subtracts a day. So as you upgrade, you subtract a day, meaning you can make more materials per day that you can sell on that marketplace that we just displayed. So I'm going to quickly look at what I have to collect. Perfect example. All right, right here. So I'm going to look at this energy plant right here in District 301. Of course, it's jamming up here. All right, there we go. All right, so you can see that I'm ready to collect. I'll be collecting 3,654 units of energy. Let's run that through the profitability calculator real quick, just so we can understand. This is the very basic, most basic material inside of the game, whereas there's a lot of nested materials inside of the game. This is the this first block. So what did we have? We had 3,654. All right, so 3,654, just so we can understand profitability of the different materials. It's going to cost me, we're going to find out here, and we're going to do it live, how much it costs to collect. So if I wait the entire term of the 7 days for that building, it'll cost me 1 mega. We can see it right here, hopefully. So it costs 1 mega to collect 3,654 metal, or I'm sorry, energy. All right, and let's look at my, you can't see my total up there. All right. So right now it's going to ask to sign a contract real quick, and now I'm collecting my my metal. I'm sorry, metal. I keep saying metal. Energy. So let's look at the profitability of that right now. So that cost me 6.7 cents, again with Mega at 6.7 cents, and I can sell that on the market currently for $1.71. That's at the floor price currently in the market, which I'll go ahead and show off as well, just so we see the full cycle. And here you go. Here's your floor price material and where you'd be able to sell things at. And up here in the top left, you can't see it, but it just delivered 3,654 energy. I can quick pack. So what you were talking about, Thor, was up at the top. You can't see it on the screen. There's a menu. I'm hiding my totals, but I can create a pack, and this is essentially creating an NFT. It's like minting an NFT. So I'm going to create 100 pack of energy, and then I can sell that on the market. What are your thoughts on profitability and how the game plays out with materials and all of that? What's your feeling on that? I kind of showed off that profitability chart. What are your thoughts on that?
Um, I mean, it really comes down to efficiency on your profitability. I was told, kind of like what you were saying, the start of your economy comes from energy. So the very first thing I did was to secure a spot to build an energy mega. So now I'm collecting around 17,000 energy per day. I think you mentioned that too. As you level your buildings, you can collect more often. So not only do they produce more, but they produce more often. So it becomes exceedingly more efficient to build it up until you get to a level 7, especially for energy. Because as Eric showed, the cost in Mega to claim on your power plant is just a very small amount of Mega. So every other material that you claim is going to need other materials such as energy or water or metal in order to claim that material. But since energy is the very basis, all you need is a tiny amount of Mega. And what I did was I went strong into energy. I had excess energy, and then I started trading and selling my energy in order to get the other materials that I needed to get some other buildings up and running.
I was just reading in chat. I'm so bad at trying to read these names off. Cyber XTV was asking about bringing this thing onto the Hive network. This might be a good time to kind of chat about Hive, and hell, I think that would be interesting. Again, full disclosure: none of this is financial advice. None of this is. I'm not part of the dev team. I'm just a player in the game. So I don't have any decisions on that, but hope that the developers watch this and can be influenced. But with that being said, um, talk about the Hive network a little bit, and you're a lot more familiar with that. Maybe there's some things that we could, you know, kind of collaborate on or something like that.
Sure. So the Hive blockchain was the very first blockchain that I played a Web3 game on. In fact, I'm from a lot of people, I'm sort of not, I wouldn't say new, but I've been around crypto for a little over 2 years. I got started mining Ethereum, and Ethereum, I guess, forked and it wasn't mineable anymore. And prior to that, while I was mining, I was looking into Web3 games, and the first game I found was called Splinterlands. I like TCGs, and it looked cool, so I got into the game right during I think it was the peak of the last bull market, probably the worst time to go into something new and buy. But I stayed with it, and I started acquiring assets and learning about the Hive blockchain. And Splinterlands is actually, they built a layer two. They built the Hive engine, which is a layer two on the Hive blockchain. So it has its own market. It has um, lots of liquidity pools. There's a lot of other games also on Hive engine. It's probably one of the most finished type games, but there's quite a bit coming up. One thing I liked about Hive was transactionless costs. There was no fees to conduct transactions.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, what you do is you stake or power up your Hive. You don't lose it. In fact, it actually accrues at a small interest, and you keep earning more of it. But when you do that, you have resource credits, and it doesn't take that much for a lot of transactions. So just a little bit of Hive powered up, and you can buy, sell all sorts of things and play games on Hive, and you don't have to worry about paying additional fees.
So
Um,
it's a pretty clever setup. Maybe the devs can work on something like that, something similar to that, to help staking and liquidity. I know they're really working on the free to play version of the game in ED. I don't have that set up. I probably should have. So really, the game that you're seeing right now. This portion is the SimCity portion, right? So we have a few different building types. We have energy and water. Those are shown right here. And then jumping up to the next level would be industrial buildings, and then production buildings. And then we also have something called offices. These are the larger offices, which actually produce Mega, which you need to play the game. So this is more of a passive strategy. However, they have incorporated repairs into the game, which kind of push you into producing as well. So there is some of that. Um, getting into it, it's pretty interesting that, hey, my thing's messing up again. All right. Uh, have you looked? uh, I'm kind of bouncing all over the map here, but have you looked? Have you? I mean, going back to where you initially were with the IP and all that. Have you looked at some of the third party apps that have been produced by some of the community members? Have you seen some of those?
I've only used the Metaverse Max. I'm not aware of any other ones, but that one has been very helpful. I know one thing. I mean, I didn't even know about it for several days how it worked, but I didn't realize that each type of building, whether it's production, energy, industrial, and also its level, is competing with the same types of buildings at the same level. And if you're in the top quadrant, then you actually earn a bonus on your production. And that's something that took me a little bit to wrap my head around. But that third party site that I'm talking about can show you where you rank against other players, and being able to see that and work towards a higher influence point or IP ranking. That's all part of efficiency.
Uh,
So the more efficient your building is, the higher up on the list you'll be, and you'll be able to collect more.
No, you're absolutely right. I have Metaverse Max packed into here. There's lots of what I'm trying to get at. I'm not trying to get into the weeds of the game, but trying to kind of showcase some of the other third party apps that are out there. Really, really cool. And again, the complexity of the game is another thing I'm trying to showcase. For some people, that can be kind of a turnoff. I'll kind of talk about the different ways to earn money. There's, I think, 12 different ways that I've counted to earn money inside of the game. But I really wanted to showcase Lenny Darktech's third party app here. Um, and some of the complexities of the game. So again, what you were talking about is here simply you pick your building type, you pick your level, and any industry building inside of a level one will all be competing against each other in IP. Um, we'll dive into IP a little in a different setting, but essentially what you have here is efficiency, and all the math is shown for you here. So we can see from Bevins, he has the top level efficiency, so his production is even estimated inside of the game. So you're going to see that with his 640 IP, his next production amount is going to be 198 sand. Now, if you want to see the calculations and how that's all calculated, you can see the behind the scenes math. Let me get my big head out of the way. Maybe. There you go. So you can see all the math on how that's all calculated, which is pretty cool. There's no hidden trickery out here. But it shows the weight. It's kind of like going back to school, right? When you had weighted test averages, etc. So there's different weights put towards citizens and different weights towards IP, towards your influence points. So in this case, Bevins has the max IP. So for that category, he's maxed out. For citizens, he's running at 91.3% efficiency. I think we can even look at the actual citizens that are in this building. Let's see if we can, if I remember how to do that. Oh, right here, boom. So now we can see the attributes of the citizens, and where this kind of plays into is this plays into uh, the attributes of the citizens kind of play into where the game is going. So again, this is the Sim City level of the game. Then we get into what I like to refer to as the Sims portion, or that first person portion of the game. So right now, we have, you can see agility, intel, charisma, endurance, luck, strength. Each building has a different boost, right? So for an industrial building, you need strength and endurance. So you can see that he's maxed out on strength, maxed out on endurance, and there's also a third category, which is overall stats of your citizen, and that's going to be a portion of the weighted average um, for the overall production. And that overall production comes back to what you talked about with efficiency, right? So the more you produce per what is it, 2.94 mega, the higher your profitability is, and that's where that efficiency comes into play. Um, in a previous chat, we kind of talked about it, and it was uh, we talked about you know I look at this game as a game of efficiency, but I think the way that I put it was like if you're building up a car, right, and you boost the engine, and then you put a 500 horsepower engine into a car, and then the next thing that's going to fail is your transmission. So then you upgrade your transmission. The next thing that's going to fail is your drive shaft. Then you upgrade your drive shaft. The next thing to fail is your rear end, then the tires, and so on and so forth. That's kind of the same way with this. You upgrade one building type, and all of a sudden, you're needing to boost some of the other building types. So very much a game of efficiency. Um, Question: have you had a chance to play with ED very much? That segment of the game where we get into that first person view. Yep.
No, I have not. I've kind of zoomed around and looked at it, but that's not something that I've been able to check out yet.
Okay.
It
So
looks really interesting though.
I mean, just kind of a brief overview. I don't have it here to demo. It'll take a little time to get it up and running. But those same avatars that you have in the game, the same map that you saw earlier, um, the all the buildings are constructed by, I mean, all these buildings that you see in the background here are player built, meaning somebody built an industrial, got the materials, and this whole map isn't just a random generated map. These are buildings that have taken a lot of work and money and time to build. So then we get into this first person type of view where you're running around with a player, and you can actually deliver materials from, let's say, this building over here to the right to this building over here to the left, and earn mega for it. And for that mega, you earn bonus on your supply chain. Let me show you kind of. Let's see if I can pick one of my buildings. I don't know if you're familiar with this part, Thor. You might be learning something here. I'll grab one of the buildings that I have a bonus in. So again, it's not letting me pick my buildings. Give me a sec, guys. Let's refresh
I've
this.
just started setting some express rewards and some level one plastic buildings, so it's still new to me though.
No, absolutely. I'm hoping this thing fires back up. It's acting up a little bit on me since I've got all these windows open. Um, Taking a couple more seconds here. Get my big head out of the way. All right. So right here, you can see again. If I didn't have express rewards, this building would probably be creating, I don't know, 6 or 7 plastic. With rewards, let's see if I have one that's already ready. I think this one's ready. So you can quickly see oh, what's going on there? So we can see a sliding scale on how much more percent of material that you can create for the same amount of mega, which is a way to incentivize, or even, I don't know if justify is the right word, but to for the owner of the building to put out rewards. They're going to get rewarded in more material, and I'm putting up my mega that I earn through office buildings or through purchase, and the way that I can quantify that is to earn more materials and be more efficient per collection. So it really makes sense to do stuff like that in lower level production buildings at the moment. Um, but it's an interesting way for people to kind of experience the game, take a look at the map, and earn mega with, I mean, basically a walletless transaction. So I think that's pretty cool. Let
Isn't that going to be the big push in quarter two?
Say that again.
The express deliveries, that part of the game, won't that be a big push in quarter two during their marketing strategy that they talked
No,
about?
absolutely. They're really expanding on express deliveries. So first we had so we're even pre-alpha here. So they're really not even considering it a game. It's more of a demo at the current point. But you are able to earn mega. And Q2 we're going to see the dev team came into chat and said Q2 is going to be their big marketing push. So looking forward to seeing what they have coming there. And I understand that the actual alpha version of Mega World will be coming out. We typically see, uh, I mean, kind of rewinding. We've seen this game around for what 5 years now, and I'm going to pull up their roadmap. Give me a sec.
Yeah, I think one thing interesting to me is that potential for someone that wants to be a free to play player to come in, start the game. They can start doing the missions. They can earn mega. With their mega, you can purchase a residence inside of a building, and that allows you to start your avatar at a different, maybe a more prime location for your deliveries. In fact, I think owning an apartment or a spot will be a requirement in order to withdraw the mega, but you're able to earn it for free just by running these express missions, from my understanding.
Oh, you're hitting the nail on the head. And like we said, out there in Q2, they're really pushing. The strategy mode has been around for a while. I'll kind of walk through the roadmap of the last 5 years here. I mean, this isn't something new to the table. These guys have been, I would say, fairly on the cutting edge. One of the first Web3 crypto games out there. And we're still ticking. Monthly updates. I would say about every month or every 2 months, we see some sort of update. So, I mean, starting back in May 5th of 2018, look how far back that goes. Is when they came out with their white book. I actually joined the game right at the beginning in May of 2018. Just going to kind of walk through the roadmap. You see a lot of games out there that have these elaborate roadmaps, but do they actually deliver? And I can say with all honesty, these guys have delivered consistently over the years. And I'm just going to kind of scroll through some of that roadmap here. Introduced the second network in 2020, and we'll just kind of keep going, and we'll see what they have in store for us next year. So in 2021 was the Mega World demo that I was talking about, that first person version without all the intricacies of making deliveries. That wasn't introduced until earlier this year. So our citizens as avatars that came out in 2022. Um, and the BNB chain was introduced at the end of last year, so about a year ago. And the first districts opened up early this year in January. So that that SimCity type view, or that overhead view of the game, that for BNB, that started in not even 8-9 months ago. Um, you can also there's another portion of the game, custom builder. You're able to build your own building, which is pretty cool. Um, let's see, where are we? Minting units. This is the second half. So we still have some exciting things for Q4. We'll see if they make their timeline or not. We did the express delivery in Q4. There's still hopes for a car plant where we're actually going to be able to build our own cars, and a standalone desktop app. Let's look at 2024 real quick. I'm curious to see what they've got here. Uh, One of the issues that we're facing out there, just like every game, is gas. So having a layer 2 coin rental option is going to be a big deal. Mobile application. I know you were kind of talking about that, Thor, in other conversations. That is on the docket. I would anticipate that something will come out next year. Looks like we've got special buildings, citizen traits, corporations. Um, wow, they have updated this a little bit. We've even got virtual reality here in the future. So big plans in the future. My point in kind of showcasing that is, if you look at their track record again from 2018 all the way to 2022, every one of these milestones has been reached. So that kind of, you would think, some of these future milestones wouldn't have a problem being reached as well. Jumping over, what do you think out of the features? What do you think is most missing, or what feature would you like to see the most out of this game?
Um, just for a usability standpoint, I would like to be able to zoom out further, like to see the whole world. Um, I mean, there's still so many things that I'm learning. I haven't even got to a lot of improvements yet. Obviously on mobile, I'm able to do claims. It's you're never going to be able to play a game like this completely on, I don't think, on mobile, just because the world is it's so big, and to see all the plots and all the little details on everything would be pretty tough. But you can do the claims and some things on mobile. Um, I don't know. Can you touch a little bit on the role of the citizens, and then another thing also. I mean, one of the first things I liked about it was just scrolling through and looking at land plots, and then I realized that when you buy a plot of land, it makes the surrounding, like, I don't know, is it 30 plots go up in value? In addition to, if someone owns one of those plots, they get a part of your purchase back.
No, absolutely. I'll see if I can pull that up on the guide here real quick. That's pretty cool. I'd like to get into the different ways of earning as well. I saw in chat here, great question on passive income. We'll try to cover that as well, and then we'll slowly wrap this thing up. I want to see if they've changed this guide. They've updated the guide here, and I'm not seeing. I used to know the old guide version. Overview. What is it? I got to get used to this new guide. Um, just looking for. Maybe I'll have to show it a different way. Natural disasters, corporations, cross chain transfer, game assets, land plots. This little diagram right here. All right. So this is kind of how that what. Oh, my big head isn't in here. There it is. All right, so land plots. This is kind of how land plots is and the surrounding plots. So as you buy one plot, all of the other land plots surrounding it, I believe it's three in each direction. I'll look at it on the map. They all increase in value, and the distribution of where that money goes. A portion of that goes to the district owner. A portion of that goes to the surrounding land plot owners, and to MCP. So right here you can see it's a three squares in each direction are going to raise in value. You can kind of see the arrows that are coming up. Let's see if I can find a more clear spot on the map to showcase that. So here's over your here's your glass plant, and now it's acting up on me again. There we go. All right, so everybody in this area, so these are your industrial buildings. So if I purchase this land plot right here for 1.16 BNB, your four industrials would go up in price. A portion of your glass price, you would receive a portion of that 1.16. I think it's 22% of your purchase price, your original purchase price of that land. Now everything's on chain. I can look up what you bought that land plot for, if it wasn't messing with me here. But it's kind of cool. That's one of the ways to earn, right? Another good way was over there on the market, where you buy low, sell high materials, and this is ways for people to get into the game without necessarily owning, harvesting, doing all of that, and really want to jump into that the passive income chatter. Got to refresh this thing because the game is again not liking having all these screens open. All right, so jumping over to passive income, um, offices, both district and global offices offer passive income, and I can show you both right here. So there's two big funds inside of the game where we all draw from. I think over there in one of the Hive chats that I was looking at, Thor, people were asking about, how long does this last for? Well, essentially, it lasts forever. The way it's calculated is off of this global fund down here in the lower left. I think I can zoom in on that. So right now there's 933,000 mega, and it all comes back to influence points. So this building right here is a level 7 office, and this level 7 office, what it does is it captures money from that global fund. So my percentage of total IP from the game is then calculated, and they have a nice table that shows how that's calculated. I'm going to try to pull that up for us. So for passive income, I'm going to pull this table up here. That's not my building. That's why. It is my building. All right. Let's try this one. Here we go. So again, there's two different funds that are captured from, again, the global fund and the local fund. Right now I'm looking at the local fund. I have 116,000 IP in the local fund. I can see the total influence inside of the district is 304,000, of which I own 116,000. So inside of that district, 319 mega will be distributed per day, of which I'll have 39%. So on a daily basis, I'm estimated to receive excuse me, 124 mega per day. So you can see my historicals. I received 107, 104, and this is based on repairs of the building. So every single day, passively, without clicking go or doing anything, this is what I'm earning. You can see that looks like some IP has increased in the game, so I'm earning just a little bit less each day, and it depends on the stamina of my citizens and my again the total IP in the game. So to answer your question there, CyberXTV, yes, you can earn. However, you are going to need materials to repair this building. Um, so it's, I would call it semi-passive earnings. Thor, have you gotten much into offices yet, or not too much?
Office was earning. Just glancing, it looks like that office is pulling in about $7 worth of mega a day.
Absolutely.
Um,
That's a good way of
Times
putting it.
365. That's $2,555 worth of mega. Now I don't know what the repair costs are. I'm sure they're minimal compared to the mega that you're getting. But I think the big, well, obviously the big cost is to secure a good spot and build a level 7 office mega.
Well,
And I'm nowhere close to doing that yet.
you're absolutely right. It comes down to securing plots, and that's too into the weeds for this conversation. I mean, we could have an entire stream for an hour talking just about offices, the prime location, how IP works, how your citizens work, etc. But it all kind of integrates together, and that's kind of what this whole we're trying to hit broad brushstrokes in this chat today, to introduce the game to newer players. Um, but offices, they provide a great and stable income for mega, right? And what did you calculate the mega to be in dollars per day?
I was just doing a rough estimate in my head. It looked about based on 6.7 cents. You were collecting a little over 100 mega a day. So I was just a rough estimate about $7 a mega a day on that
On
one
that one
particular
building.
build.
So, that doesn't sound like a lot, but when you start getting a lot of buildings put together, right, you start getting, 30, 40 buildings. Each of those buildings are obviously earning, they're either earning mega or they're earning materials, which you can then sell on the market. So when you start compiling all of that together, you really can start earning significant holdings of BNB and Mega, or some of the other blockchains, Ethereum and Tron. Um, why did you start on the BNB chain? What kind of gravitated you that direction?
I was told it was the newest world. I know the Binance chain, the gas fees are way less than Ethereum, and I don't know anything about Tron, so that's where I went.
No, that's a great point. So what I'm kind of showing here is the newness of the world. So still a lot of plots. So every few months or so, they auction off another district. So district is essentially like a mayor. He establishes taxes and sets the rates for everything inside of his little district, right? So right here, you can see all these lock boxes. There's still lots of land out there that hasn't even been opened or touched, and those are spread out at different intervals. These auctions can go from 15 to 30 and 40 BNB for these districts. And what's cool is kind of the revenue share, right? So uh, as a district owner, you earn for any building that is built inside of your district, any land plot that is purchased, you share in that revenue, which is pretty interesting. We're starting to come up on the last little bits here. Just kind of wanted to walk around the map a little bit. Um, do we have any questions out there in chat? Thor, do you have any questions out there? Kind of hanging questions.
I think CyberX may have had a couple questions
Yeah, let's
here.
let's let's hit those up. Let's hit those up before we wrap it up. CyberX, a way to have scholarship or building rental to someone to manage for you. They get a percentage. So absolutely, CyberX. Great question again. Really appreciate you putting those out in chat. So yes, there are currently rentals. So I can rent any of these buildings, and essentially establish a rate where you get daily BNB for that building. The question you have to ask yourself is it more worth? Do I make more money me operating that building, or do I make more money, or is it more worth it for me to not operate that building? It's another passive income strategy, right? And have somebody else operate that building. So for my current setup, I would rather operate the building because I have enough citizens to do so, because I can make more money doing so. Somebody that doesn't have enough citizens, they could build a building and potentially, if it has high IP, high production, there are people that will go out there and rent it. It just becomes a product of spreadsheets and math to see if it makes sense. To answer the other half of your question, scholarships or uh, so scholarships, we haven't quite gotten there. You can see in that roadmap that there is chats about corporations coming into play in 2024. I'm going to pull that up real quick. So corporations here, I think that's where they might start introducing the scholarship model. It has been talked about extensively in chat. I think that could be a thing of the future. Um, Anything else out there, guys? Back to you, Thor.
I'm still, like I said, I'm only a couple weeks in, but I mean that was an interesting question. But I don't know exactly how the rentals work, but I imagine once you have a lot of properties, maybe there's a way to rent out a portion of them to someone that can work them for you. You earn with the rental income, and it can actually bring it could bring some players into the game that don't have to start with a lot of funds, because I know coming in, like literally to build this level 7 power plant, I probably spent $2,000 to get it completely up and running with all the materials.
Hmm.
The ROI on it is really nice, but for a lot of players, a new game to come in and to spend that kind of money. And I know I never would have done that, but I had another player I talked to a whole lot that had been playing the game for probably about as long as you have, Bevo, that got me into it. Um, so I was actually comfortable doing it after talking to him so much. But for someone who doesn't know much about the game coming in, there needs to be ways to come in less expensive, for the builder mode. Obviously, Express, you could do the deliveries, but maybe the rentals.
You're absolutely right. One of the struggles right now is some of the contracts. So all land is on layer one contract, while and in order to interact with those layer one assets, you do need to spend gas. So on Ethereum, that has become not very practical. On BNB, it works great, but you can see here in the roadmap that the team has identified that and is on their roadmap to upgrade. Excuse me, sorry. Um, no, I think there is math to be had, and think about when it comes to rentals. And you're absolutely right. You could just play the game for a few days, try it out with rentals in BNB. Hold on one second. I've got a quick ping here. Let's see what we've got. A way to have scholarships or building rental to someone to manage for you. They get a percentage. Um, gotcha. Give me one sec. We're having an audio issue here. Oh, can you hear me? We got the audio fixed there, Max. Thought we had an audio issue. Long story short, there are rentals. You can absolutely earn on rentals. So I would be earning BNB as the renter, and the person renting it would essentially get the materials that they harvest. So they're taking control of that building, and they earn the resources that building produces, which they can then sell on the market. So it potentially could be a cheaper way to get into the game. Um, I think, guys, we're kind of coming up to that hour of the day. Thor, if you want to, give you a few minutes here to, if you want to chat more about Hive. I know we had a little portion in there. Really appreciate you coming on. I don't, if you want to have some closing comments.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on here, Eric. It's definitely an interesting game. It's my type of game, but you probably need to like spreadsheets. Although there's several ways to play it. Um, yeah, so if other people don't know about me, I started a GameFi project on Hive called Drip, and we invest into Web3 projects, whether that be coins, liquidity pools, etc. And we're kind of branching out. So I'm always looking at games on other chains and ways to grow our fund. And our funds are actually, we're looking at MegaWorld as possibly a place to invest as well, in addition to me just personally. But I think Max sent out a link to my Discord. Well, we have a couple Discord games that pay out crypto that you can play on there. There's a link to lots of other Hive projects and games, and anyone can reach out to me on Discord. If you have any questions about anything, I'd be happy to answer them for you.
No, absolutely. Again, thanks. Would love to spend some time and learn more about what you're doing over on your side. I think there could even be some correlation, collaboration, whatever you want to call it. Maybe some of those games earn Mega. I think that would be really cool. Just love that whole idea. Um, we posted your Discord link down below. Max just reposted it down at the bottom. Um, like I said, really appreciate you coming on board. It was interesting hearing some of that perspective. Excuse me. Talk too much. Jeez, got a little hoarse throat. But um, really, like I said, I've played Mega World for 5 years. I've done a lot of these videos. We'll be posting them up on YouTube. Please follow the channel. It's free. Love having followers. Love having all the new faces, all the new chatter. We'll try to do more of these. I think we got some Mega out there sent to some folks. Um, that's just a thank you for joining my stream and listening to me babble for an hour. We'll try to have these a little more often here in the future, different themes. And like I said, as soon as my website gets up, I'll have 1 to 3 minute shorts on each of the different ways to get set up. So a little short tutorial that you can quickly access, link, and understand. Hit me up in Discord if you have any questions, or even just in main chat, please. Uh, Lots of great players in our Discord. Feel free to come over there. Lots of great chatter about the game. And once again, thank you. And that's all I've got for us today.